People who suffer trauma often fight invisible battles. Once they see you going into a psychiatric hospital, they think you're mad. Hey guys, this is Joyce, and you're welcome to another edition of Speak with Joyce. Well, Speak with Joyce promises to be rich in content, and then also it's going to be a fantastic journey. And Speak with Joyce is all about, everything that matters basically in life. So fasten your seatbelts because this is about to be an interesting ride. All right, so today I want to talk about trauma, echoes of the past, bruised yet breathing, and also the silent scars that nobody sees. It is actually an experience that a lot of people have encountered in life. And talking about traumatic experience, we all know that trauma has to do with a depressing and distress experience that poses threat to one's life and safety. Now, traumatic experiences can result from abuse, neglect, a loss of loved one, or a loss of parents, or probably the absence of a caregiver, or domestic violence and sexual abuse. So trauma has a lot of variables attached to it. These traumatic experiences can lead to depression, anxiety, long-lasting effect of PTSD, and also suicidal thoughts. A lot of people out there have actually found themselves in a compromising situation whereby, they just feel like taking their lives because of the experiences that they have gone through in life. And such kind of persons need help. Sometimes it could be as a result of, neglect, when there is no love at home, when your parents are always not around and you grew up, without people around you. But then, as we grow old, we tend to pretend as if nothing is wrong with us, which is very bad. It's better to face the problem heads on than avoid it, because when we keep avoiding it, it poses more threat to our life. Now, talking about trauma, it is something that has a long-lasting effect on someone. Childhood trauma has long-lasting effect on people, and these effects can actually pose as the way someone expresses their emotions, how people process fear, how people make decisions, and how people go about their daily lives in the society. A lot of adults today live their lives because of how trauma has affected them. And these traumatic experiences, can be a problem to survivors. Some survivors can actually experience problem in their relationship, and also they exhibit, distance in emotion. They exhibit distance due to fear of abandonment. When you eventually find someone that loves you and want to be with you, you push them away because you are scared of them leaving you. Because of course you grew in an environment that nobody was there for you. So you're also scared that this particular person might not be there for you at all times, and you keep pushing them away. It's as a result of the traumatic experience that you have experienced in life. Some survivors may exhibit, trust issues, emotional distance, and also fear of abandonment, and they feel as if they are unworthy of love due to the traumatic experience. Not just relationships, socially, even at work, they are always alone. They keep their distance from colleagues. They don't want to associate themselves with others. When they come to work, they do everything that has to concerning work, and when it's time to disappear, you don't even see them in the blink of an eye. So it is a result of being alone, and they grew up being alone. There's nobody to depend on, there's nobody to share their problem with, and when you find yourself in their lives, it's going to be very difficult and hard for them to open up to you. And you have to be patient. If you need someone like that to open up to you, you definitely have to be patient enough with them for them to be able to open up to you. You don't blame the victim. Sometimes it's actually bad. They feel like, when they tell you their experiences, they fear stigmatization. There's going to be a stigma attached to them. Trauma survivors, tend to exhibit lack of emotions. They have emotional instability. They fail to develop healthy relationships. or they have these emotional triggers, they feel like they're not worthy of love. They even have difficulty in raising and parenting their own children. And when it comes to a working environment, they self-doubt themselves. They doubt themselves. They feel they're not capable of doing what others are doing. So they isolate themselves and stay away from people. Some survivors find themselves in another abusive relationship. And because their partners know about that, they use that to their own advantage and try to cage and also use this against the victims. Now, one who has experienced a terrible, life under their parents, when they experience neglect, a lack of caregiver, and they eventually find themselves in a relationship. Now they fear losing that relationship, and because they fear losing that relationship, because they've grown all their lives without someone in their life, their partners tend to use that against them. They tend to use that as a leverage to actually, manipulate them. And these victims say experience pain over and over again. So I feel sometimes you don't blame someone for being in an abusive relationship. You just hope that they get, out of it healthy, they get out of it safe and sound, they get out of that relationship unhinged. And I don't know why people use people's weaknesses as an advantage to, pin them down, manipulate them, and to just boss them around. This is more like abusing the person over and over again, even after realizing that they've been through worse situations in their lives. There are ways that we can actually, come out of this. Therapy. But how many people are willing to go for therapy? How many people are willing to open up? How many people are willing to open up? But I feel the reason why a lot of people are, afraid of opening up is the fear of stigmatization, of which I want to blame them. A lot of people, out there stigmatize victims. Once they see you going into a psychiatric hospital, they think you're mad. But I just hope we have a change of mind when it comes to that. So it's difficult and it's crazy for them. It's not really their fault that they're actually going through this phase. But life happened, and then we need to be kind to them. We need to make sure that they don't feel like they are the problem. There's no need to be, harsh on them. There's no need to make them feel stigmatized. Traumatic people are everywhere. A little incident might be traumatic for you, and you never can tell. So let's be kind to one another. Trauma survivors feel people don't understand them, so they neglect people, and then they isolate themselves and stay away from public. Now, what these people need is not rejection or judgment. They need love, they need support, they need understanding, and also a safe environment to live. I do hope that we humans are more kind with our words, because we don't know who is who, we don't know who has experienced something terrible in their lives, and our words might just, push that person into depression without us knowing that that person has been a victim of trauma. So I will urge us to be more kind with our words and hope that, we treat people the way we want people to treat us. People who suffer trauma often fight invisible battles, but then healing is possible. You can heal with the right tools. You can heal through therapy, community support, and also self-awareness. It may take time, but one step at a time. Just be self-aware, rebuild your life over and over again, give life a chance, be open to healing, and then you just take it gradually and you will be fine. Your story matters, okay? Your healing also matters. And Joyce is written for you out there. See you in my next episode.